Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. Logan Lucky is the 2017 heist movie that is expertly directed by Steven Soderbergh, the great director that has brought us such fabulous films in the past, such as the Oceans films, Oceans 11, 12, 13, Traffic, Out of Sight, which is probably my personal favourite of his, Solaris, Magic Mike, and as well as many other classic films. A really talented director, Steven Soderbergh, and he took a break for a while, but he's really back on form with this film. An incredible cast. Just take a look at the cast in this film. And what we get here is almost like, and I don't mean any disrespect here, it's like a redneck version of Ocean's 11 without the 11. They do it with less numbers. But it's a really charming heist film, this. And while I know this film has been getting good reviews, it's a film I haven't managed to see up until now. And now I have seen it. I'm absolutely delighted that I have. It's a film that is, like I say, very charming, and it's got an awful lot of heart to it, this movie. It really does. And it's a thoroughly enjoyable movie. And what we get here is we get Channing Tatum's character, who loses his job right at the beginning of the movie. He works underground at some like mining site, and almost immediately, with his brother Adam Driver, he hatches a plan to rob the racetrack, the local NASCAR racetrack. And they go and see Daniel Craig in prison, who is a renowned explosives expert for bank robbing and blowing open safes, things like that. But the catch here is he's in prison, so he can't help him while he's in there. So they need to hatch a plan to get him out of prison to help him pull off the heist, help them pull off the heist. All in the while, bringing their sister on board and Daniel Craig's two redneck brothers, who are not the brightest light bulbs in the room. And they've got to work together to pull this heist off. And that's all I'm going to say on this movie, really. Other than to say it's a really fun film, this. Very easy to watch. I suppose you could say that it's pretty balanced throughout. There's no heightened tension. Especially the main criticism anyone could throw at this movie is you never really feel as though they're going to fail in the heist. They don't give you that. I think in all these previous, like the Ocean's 11's films, certainly there was always something there. You're a bit like, oh my god, are they gonna do it? Are they gonna do it? Because it all might feel like it's going to go wrong at some point. You never really get that feeling with this movie that things are going to go terribly wrong, and it doesn't. You don't really feel any concern that it's never going to work, whatever they're trying to do. But I think that's kind of the point. It's almost like I put it on, watch it, have a great time, some great characters. There's a lovely undertone of humour throughout this movie. It's not full on comedy, but it borders on comedy. There are some light moments in it. There are some funny moments in it. And everybody is really good in this movie. Channing Tatum, I think, plays a tremendous role. He plays a really good character here. A really good man who circumstances have kind of forced him down this path. Adam Driver is a very subtle performance, but really clever too. I really enjoyed Adam Driver's performance here. Daniel Craig almost steals the movie with his performance. It's absolutely charming and amusing and fun. But there's not one poor performance here. I think that the only performance that didn't feel like it fitted in this movie to me was probably Seth MacFarlane's performance as like a NASCAR racer he's like a Brit, but the accent's not right, and he's got the strangest haircut you've ever seen in your life, and it just doesn't feel like it fits in this movie. It's a character that kind of looks like it would probably fit more in the Will Ferrell comedy, the Talladega Nights. It's a bit too much of a caricature for this movie, the Seth MacFarlane character, even though it is quite amusing, a lot of the stuff he says. So it's great fun, is this movie? There's not any major criticisms you can throw at it. There's no real action to speak of in it. It's just, it moves along and really it's reasonably long film, but it moves along at a steady pace. Before you know it, the heist has started, and you're like, oh, that's crept up quickly. What they have to do to get Daniel Craig out of prison and get him back in is really amusing. There's a scene in the prison where the prison warden's trying to negotiate with the prisoners and they're wanting the new Game of Thrones books, but he's trying to explain to them that the author hasn't written them yet, and the TV show is ahead of the books, but they don't believe him. And there's like this argument about Game of Thrones going on over this intercom that just cracked me up. It was so funny. Yeah, I would have to say this is a really fun, charming movie. It's got a lot of heart to it, great performances throughout, great direction, and one of the highlights of the year for me, really. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it far more than I expected to, and there's no serious criticisms you can throw at this movie. So I strongly recommend you go out and watch this movie. I'm a Blu-ray it, whatever you're going to do, it's definitely worth doing. Thanks for watching.